They're setting up chairs in Soulard's Mad Art Gallery for another monthly movie night sponsored by a group called Cine 16. Not video night, mind you, not DVD night, movie night. They bring in reels of film, a 16mm projector, and a big screen. For the people who put this on, and a lot of the people who come to it, there's nothing quite like film and showing films.
I am one of those people that likes the physical properties of film. Just setting up the projector, letting it run, hearing that clickety-clack, and seeing that, you got the film grain, but it's very sharp and wonderful color. That's probably the best.
Cine 16 was founded a couple of years ago to show movies that were made during what might be called the golden age of educational film. The first time people hear about it, they might think that it's about showing laughably outdated health, dating, or anti-drug films. And while they will occasionally show one of those, this is more of a serious look at good academic films that you're not likely to see anyplace else anymore.
Anthropological documentaries, experimental animation, sociological films, art films.
I'm interested in these kinds of films, so offbeat films. For example, tonight they're screening this movie about M.C. Escher, and some of my favorite artists.
I learned about this through friends. I've been here once before last year. And I just thought it would be really cool to come down and see some films, just like film strips back from grade school.
But how did this elderberry tree get up in the rain gutter?
The first film on this night was a science movie with the straightforward title, Seeds Scatter.
A seed carries the life of a tiny new plant. It must make its way to a place that is favorable for its growth.
It was really quite beautifully done, with fascinating close-up and time-lapse photography. In its own way, this is still a good film, and yes, educational. At first, Cine 16 showed films from Seep's own collection and borrowed others. But now, well, you should see what Cine 16 has to work with now. And for that, you have to go to an old building across town. Last year, the St. Louis Public School District decided it was time to get rid of all of its school films. It had one of the oldest educational film libraries in the country. The district recognized that this was a valuable collection, and it wanted to hand it over to someone who would take care of it.
Right now, obviously they're all wrapped up in cellophane and on pallets. Because we did have a space, but it was temporary, and we had to move them. And this is where we ended up. It's no small task.
Right.
I mean, you can see all the pallets. They're stacked 4 high, and we've got 30 pallets or so.
Yeah. Do you know how many films? I guess it would just be an estimate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's an estimate. I think the number is around 6,000 cans. It really is a large collection.
Fortunately, the school district kept us well organized, so Cine 16 has a list of what films it has, but the way they're stacked, they don't really quite know where they all are yet. They also don't know which ones they're going to want to show. The titles don't tell you how good or bad a film might be, but they do get you curious.
Tokyo Industrial Worker.
Timber in Finland.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Salute to a Crusader, Dwight D. Eisenhower. You might say, okay, winter on the farm, huh? Yeah, that sounds kind of boring. But then you put it on, and it's a really fantastic film. It's got great cinematography or something that really sets it apart.
Although I'm not sure recognizing numerals and number sets.
Exactly.
But you never know.
You never know. You never know. There could be some,
done,
and there could be some wacky animated character that everybody loves, or something like that.
I'm mad at you. That's one you ought to take a look at.
You think about them now, and it's kind of everybody sort of remembers them with a little bit of nostalgia. But back in the day, I mean, these films had very large budgets, considering. Educational film was hot. People bought these up, and there were large distribution networks. Some of these films had budgets up to, $100,000. This is a really great film, actually. Gerald McDermott, The Stonecutter. I didn't know we had a copy of this, but just happens to be...
Cine 16 is now part of the Academic Film Archive of North America, founded in San Jose, California. St. Louis is its first satellite chapter. But it's really still just a few volunteers with a lot of movies, and they're wondering what they've gotten themselves into. They'd love to have some help organizing, fundraising, even people who have projectors who can screen the films and make suggestions for programs. From the looks of things, their film series, held on the third Thursday of every month, could go on for a very long time. Attendance varies from month to month. At the January program, they had to set up extra chairs because the people just kept coming in. There's a donations jar at the door, but admission to the film series is free. The Mad Art Gallery's donation of the space helps make that possible. After they showed the film on Seeds, the next movie was a short film called Shoe Shine with Jerry Stiller. But the audience really responded with the first appearance of a very young Ben Stiller. It's one of the interesting things about these films. You never know quite what you're going to find. If you're old enough that you've seen school films in a classroom, you're likely to find them much better the second time around. At Cine 16, you can buy a beer or a glass of wine. There's nobody here to tell you to stop fooling around and to pay attention. And none of this will be on the final.
It's a really fun way to see 16mm film that's been hiding in a closet somewhere.
Or in this case, the corner of a warehouse floor, where there is much just waiting to be discovered.
Worms. That might be good.